Chapter 15. The First Kill. Valis trudged through the forest, burdened by his weighty sword and bow, a small bag that Val had given him. In frustration and confusion, he wondered why Val hadn't provided a larger bag, or at least a sheathed sword carrier that he could string over his back or wear on his side. Yet, all he had was a small bag containing just a bit of food. As goosebumps sprinkled his skin, the wind swirled around him. Vanis felt a chill seeping through his bones, leaving him cold and numb. A sense of panic gripped him as he felt his heart slowing down, a sensation that struck him as odd. Before he departed, he regretted not checking his Gamelit to check the destination. Frustration mounting, he dropped the sword and tapped the device, hoping for guidance. Yet, as his fingers traced through its surface, his fingers were too numb to use the Gamelit effectively, and he abandoned the attempt in frustration. Retrieving his sword, he pressed on through the dark, eerie forest. Much like he'd done countless times before, despite his flagging energy, rising panic, he propelled himself forward in sheer determination, driven by the fate of finding shelter. Finally his eyes lightened on a cave, a glimmer of hope, and he hurried towards it. Once inside the cave, he sat down and investigated the Gamelit. Without delay he accessed the map, where he found over 30 symbols representing Val's safe zones. However, most of the areas were obscured by maps, revealing no details. Vanis speculated that significant information might be hidden there, waiting to be discovered. Trusting Val's guidance, Vanis scrutinized the map for any locations mentioned, particularly one approximately 2 kilometers north of his current position, near a nearby town. Despite the chill creeping in his body, he contemplated the journey. Although the destination wasn't too far away, he lacked the energy to make the trek. Deciding to rest, he sat by the fire, absorbing its warmth as he contemplated his next move. He thought about Val being unconscious, and then about Val attempting to kill him, and why Val insisted on leaving now with little warning. Valis wondered if he stayed, something terrible could have happened, so it was in his best interest to leave. Valis knew he made the right decision, yet he still wished Val was around, as Val was the only one who truly understood him and what was happening. Now he found himself alone. Valis tossed and turned, his eyes drooping, as he felt himself drifting off to sleep. In the morning, Valis went to look around the cave for any suitable brushes to craft a handmade sword carrier, as he wouldn't have to carry it by hand anymore. Once he gathered the necessary pieces, he left the cave. He headed towards the first village, called Alino. Consulting the Gamelit, Valis felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as he pondered what his first quest would be. He wondered if it would be something as seemingly trivial as saving a cat, or perhaps he would be directed to a mysterious cave containing a secret sword with extraordinary abilities. Valis chuckled to himself, acknowledging that he might not yet possess the skills to fully utilize such a weapon, given his likely low level of experience. As he walked around the village, it resembled a farming community akin to medieval times. Fields stretched out in the background, burdened with crops that weighed heavily on the land. Man-made sheds, reminiscent to those in the abandoned village, dotted the landscape, and yet this time served the needs of people. During his stroll, he noticed a blacksmith working openly, skillfully yielding swords and crafting them. The rhythm clanging of metal against metal echoed through the air, and then Val caught a whiff of food, a tantalizing aroma that made his stomach rumble. Though he couldn't fully identify the scent, it pricked his curiosity, prompting him to try it. But he had no money. He probably need to earn some money, so he needs to find out how to do that and gain some supplies. Maybe the game will guide him to what he needs, considering why he is here. Since the game brought him here for a reason, he needs to find out what the reason is. So he approached a hooded person, a brown hood figure with scattered shrouds, dusty palms, and dusty feet, sitting next to a wooden cottage. Valens then asked if there were any job opportunities available, but the person looked at Val with a confused face and told him to get lost, expressing no desire to be bothered. But Val ignored the man and continued asking, "I'm not from around here." The hooded figure tilted his head, his green eyes glittering as he moved towards Valens. "What do you mean you're not from around here?" Valens started to stutter as he spoke. "Sorry, I mean, I'm not from this town, and I need to get food and supplies. Do you know where I could get jobs to earn money?" The man rolled his eyes and grumbled under his breath, and then simply pointed to the far left, in the middle of the town, where there was a stand for written notes, like a notice board of some sort. Val walked over to the board and began investigating notes. Of course, there was one usual crest: to save a cat from a tree first. But Vanis, being spontaneous, wanted to do something else. He looked around and noticed the note starting to catch fire. Vanis quickly extinguished the flames before he could damage the note. Despite the edges being melted away, he managed to read the message. There is a hidden scroll deep in a hidden cave, left here as part of the village history. If the scroll is found in good condition and returned to me, I will offer a new skill to learn. But be warned, there are dangerous predators like wolves, so be careful. The note concluded with a location. Find me in the cottage next to the bootness with a red door. Safe travels, and I hope to see you soon. E. So Van started to walk in the direction left of here, and the sun was setting, making it difficult for him to see. But he kept walking, drawing his sword from his sheath, and he could hear the rustling of the leaves and the sounds of footsteps approaching. Suddenly he turned around towards the noise and saw a small wolf baring its teeth and glaring at him, its blue eyes glimmering in the darkness. Vanis quickly dodged the wolf's attack, anticipating its move. As the wolf lunged again, Vanis swung his sword, narrowly missing its target, and only cutting a few strands of the wolf's fur. The wolf retreated into the forest, but soon another wolf emerged from behind and bit Vanis. Vanis screamed in pain as he swung his sword, driving it into the wolf's side. The wolf collapsed to the ground, whimpering and limping. Even though Vanis was nearly killed by the wolf, he didn't like seeing it in pain. It seemed in pain, and he felt sad that he had done it. He then remembered the question Val asked about whether he had ever taken a life, and that if he hesitated to do so, it could be the end of him. Vanis didn't even think about Val's advice when he instinctively attacked the wolf, but now he saw it was probably in pain and couldn't bring himself to kill it. However, he kept thinking about Val's warning. With that in mind, he grabbed his sword and stood up slowly and approached the wounded wolf. As the wolf just lay on the ground, when it saw Vanis approaching, it closed its eyes, not moving. Vanis knew what he needed to do. After killing the wolf, he fell to the ground in tears. Taking the sword from the wolf, he quickly dropped it shakingly. It was the first time he had ever taken life. It filled him with misery. He hoped he would never have to do it again, except in self-defense, wondering how he would survive without Val. Vanis walked back to the cave, thinking about the mysterious scroll. Elintra arrived at the stone castle, where she was met by Olnis. Olnis shouted, "Did you find out why the boy was here? And how did he survive the Linsonist attack?" Elintra glared at him, her voice dripping with distaste as she responded, "I told you not to attack. We need to know why he's here. I didn't intervene because Val was with him. He's the one who saved him." Onlis responded, "What does Val want? I fear what will happen if they team up. I wonder what happens to this world. I will ensure the new boy won't survive much longer." Ellen Trash shouted back, "Our master wants him alive." Onlis said, "His fate is death, and it's decided. I will make sure he won't live much longer, and you won't stop me, Elintra." So that's the end of the chapter. I just want to say thank you so much for listening to this chapter, and I hope you're enjoying it. If you want to keep updated to my writing, as I mentioned many times before, please sign up to my newsletter in my website. The details are in the description. I love to have my fans of this reading on my newsletter. And I hope you enjoyed the story, and I can't wait to have the next chapter. Please follow me on this platform or maybe YouTube. Again, the details in the description if you want to keep updated when these chapters are published. Thank you again for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the story, and have a good day.